Yeah, we're admitting them already. We're
Yeah,
admitting them already.
Our reach via email is over 400. Our reach via email, and then yeah, I know we have some other people on the another platform. I think we are live on YouTube now. Then we have to be more professional now. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, okay, I hear you.
So, we want to welcome everybody. We want to welcome everyone joining us for this roundtable session. We want to appreciate you for the confidence and for always responding to our call each time we make the call. Thank you so much for always getting yourself available and ready to learn. And then let me welcome everybody once again to another edition of the Nigerian Forestry Students and Graduates Roundtable discussion. You know, over the past 3 editions, it has been awesome, and we've really learned so much. And then, you know, in the past edition, we had some of our people. Like, I'm just trying to give a short testimony before we continue proper. We had some of our friends who were still in Nigeria then, and then I can confirm that we have them now in some other countries on fully funded scholarship, and we can say that the reach and then of our roundtable is getting to so many people across the world, and we are having great testimonies. Meshach, can I hear from you?
All right, welcome everyone. Yeah, welcome everyone. Okay, as usual, my name is Meshach. Okay, don't mind my background. I'm in church. We just finished praying for Nigeria, and I couldn't go home because I won't be able to meet up with time. So welcome. This platform has been a blessing. Okay, even we as a co-host, we have been learning a lot, and we have been applying things we're learning in our own lives so that we can make progress together. Because the irony of it is, if everyone on this platform is making progress and we hosting this, we are not making progress. At some point, you may be frustrated. So our theme is moving forward together, and that is the goal of it all. So welcome everyone. Welcome, Mr. Toluda Ramola. We appreciate you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay. I am happy to be here with you guys and to our conversation.
Okay, great. Meshach, can we control the
I'm doing
some distraction from our audience?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm doing so already.
I don't know if Simon is still around, if he's still available to give the welcome address. Okay. Okay. I think we are good. Okay, no problem. All right. Thank you so much once again, everybody, for joining us. We are grateful and we are so pleased to have you in our midst. This meeting is live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube, and I will get the link across on the chat box so that we can broadcast. And you can join this platform on the IFSA YouTube page for as many that want to join from YouTube. Thank you so much. Meshach, can we start from you, please?
All right. So, welcome, sir. Okay, a little about, before we allow Toluda Ramola to introduce himself. Okay, a little about him is that is the CEO of Daramola Incorporation. And he's a forestry graduate, okay, with a strong background in forestry. So I would like him to introduce himself now. I will make progress from there. Please, sir. Up to you, sir.
All right. Well, once again, I thank you guys for the invite. I'm really excited about this, and I feel honored as well for extending the invitation to me to talk to you guys today. I believe some of you guys know me somehow, one way or the other, but as my name clearly spelled out, Tolu is my name. I'm one of you guys. A couple of years ago, I studied forestry, like you rightly said. I did really, and that was in 2008. And once I finished my first degree, it's been kind of moving around, doing different things around forestry. And I, during this period of time, I, did my master's degree and started my PhD program, which I decided to pull out of eventually. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I should say. Uh, but right now, I am living here in Seattle, Washington, in the U.S., and uh, I have a company that I run that is also do a couple of things around environmental development work. Now, even though, yes, I studied forestry, but what we do, what we do at our company is not really full-fledged forestry work. We see ourselves more as an environmental development company in the way that most of our work has to do with building things that uh, support our natural systems, building things that in a way that develop, support, and maintain our natural system. When I say natural system, I'm talking about natural ecosystems, forests as well, but not the scientific management of forestry the way we were taught, in college days. So yeah, so in a nutshell, yeah, that's the little thing about me, and I can always answer more questions as we go on.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. The next question we'll be asking is from the fact that most people travel abroad to just enjoy the benefits, probably work under a company, an organization, and every other things. But in your own case, you went there and you started a company as a Nigerian who drank the same gari that we drank, and did the futa of Akekere and running around. So what motivated you? Like, what inspired you? Why are you like, no, I'm going to start a company, not like I'm going to be looking for a job all around for the whole of my life, even while still abroad? What's your motivation?
So, I mean, I've been asked this question several times as well. And when I decided to come back here and stay, I didn't have the mind to start anything. I didn't have the I wasn't thinking about starting something right away, even though, yeah, I always know there's this part of me that is very entrepreneurial. I don't know if you guys are aware that before I left Nigeria, I started a nonprofit organization called Carbon Sink Development Initiatives. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. And
Wow.
I was working with a couple of folks back home, and but when I left the country, the whole thing changed. Now, me coming here, it's not. I didn't have that, clear inclination that doing this right away. No, that was not the case. What happened was I was looking for a job, just like every other person would do when you move to a new country. You're trying to get your life together, right? Uh, you're done or you're tired of moving here and there, for studying and all these travelings. You just want to settle down in one place, and you also have family members that are already like asking you, "Hey, when are you gonna settle down and have a family?" Right? So, uh, so I, so I, so yeah, when I moved, I was looking for a job, and all the opportunities I had, all the positions I had, these were things that unsatisfying for me. Like some of those jobs, even though most of them are pretty much related to environmental and forestry and things like that, but they are things that somebody who is still maybe somebody who is a fresh graduate, for instance, might be excited to have that kind of job. And then I felt like, I worth much more than what I'm getting. I need something that can challenge me much better. And I don't think I can get it because there are a lot of people here as well that are looking for job, the same kind of job. It's not just back home, in Nigeria or Africa or everywhere else. It's not just, it's everywhere. And when I came here, it was at the height of the global recession, and every other country's economy was just recovering at that time. So, and if when a good position comes out, tons and hundreds of people already at the bottom of the food chain ready to just climb and be like, okay. And the way things work here as well, it's the same thing back home. It's all about, you have to know somebody, or you must have developed some kind of relationship in a certain organization, be known in the organization before you can even have that strong second look, if you know what I mean by that, by the people that are trying to employ new candidates. So it was like that as well. But for me personally, I just feel like, I can do much more. I have more abilities and knowledge and experience that makes me worth much more than I was getting at that time. Wow. So that was when I decided to be like, okay, well, maybe I should start something, start my home thing and just see how it goes. So on the side, while I was working for one of the counties here. So the county, so here we have the cities, the counties, then the state government. Just like back home, we have government, we have these, we have the councillors, the local government, then the governors, right? But here's a little different. Here we have the cities, we have the counties. So the counties are more like regional kind of body of government. And
I think you are muted. You're on mute.
Oh, okay. What about now?
You're back. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long was I off?
Like 6 seconds, 6 to 7 seconds.
Okay, that's good. Yes. Okay. So so I was working for the county, and then I decided to just start something on the side. Now, here is the thing. When you have a desire to do something, you might not have all the answers right away. And that shouldn't deter you from taking the step that you have to take. And that time I knew that, I want to do something. I want to do this in this direction, right? I want to do this around environmental, but how does it work in this country? I know how things work in Nigeria, but how does things work here in this country, in the United States? But I didn't have all the answers, but what I know was that I'm going to take the first step. And I took the first step, did a lot of studying, attend a lot of events, met a lot of people, talking to people, city people, counties people, state folks, attended different meetings. And along the line, I started gathering a lot of information that helped me to make some informed decision along the line. So what happened was that I was still working for the county, and at the same time, I was pushing on the side, to do something. And at first we started as a consulting kind of organization. Then I realized that before you can really get any project in a consulting arena, you've gotta be known for a very long time. And you need to have a long list of projects that you've done in the past on your resume before you can even be considered. So from there, we decided to kind of change, into development itself. And so not like consult. So like the consultant, yeah, they will come, like the engineers, for instance, they will come, they will design certain projects. Then the city will put it out for bid, and that is where my company comes in. Then we'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go for it. We bid on the project, and if we get lucky, we get the project, and that is how it has been there since then. So yeah, just to wrap it up, I didn't have the only thing that motivated me to start something was because all the positions I was able to get here when I first moved here, these were positions that to me were below what I know I'm capable of. And that, for me personally, that is unacceptable for me. It's just a way that you kind of scale up yourself. If you've been doing something for for a certain period of time, you know where you are, you know where you're going, and you just have to make sure that you keep raising the bar for yourself, so that when you find yourself in a certain position, it doesn't mean that, if that is the only position you have, you still gotta take it, right? You see pay your bills and feed yourself, and you have young people that are asking you, hey, uncle, everybody saying the the way it is, Marco, hey, the rise, everybody saying,
Wow.
So you have to be able to pay your bills as well, but at the same time, that don't limit you from limit your thinking that, okay, well, I worth much more than this. What else can I do? What is the next phase? And that has always been my MO. So yeah.
Wow. So if I could summarize everything you said now, is that as you may have little with you, manage the little while pursuing something better. So don't just limit yourself to what you have. Always know that there is more. And of course, keep improving yourself so that you can get to that level. The bar you are raising, you can ensure that you are at that level. Wow, that's exciting. Before I pass this on to Baby Tree. Okay, why living in Nigeria? Okay, you studied at FUTA. Why living in Nigeria? Was it that you left by scholarship, you left by self-funding, or how did you leave Nigeria?
Oh, that's a long story. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to start? We're not gonna leave.
You can just touch it. Just touch it.
Okay, so oh gosh. Okay, so now before I finished in FUTA, I already started asking myself, what is the next thing? So like right from the penultimate years of college, I think immediately when we came back from IT, no, prior to IT, prior to when we came back from IT, actually, first term, 400 level, I was already asking myself, okay, what am I gonna do after I graduate? And I know that I don't want to sit down in the country for now. I know that, and I know that the only thing that would make me stay back home at that time is if I get something that is passionate, that I'm passionate about. And that time, I was very passionate about, of course, climate change, but Red Plus. That was when Red Plus was gaining a lot of tractions around the world. And I was kind of like very, very keen into that and very interested in it. And so I started doing a lot of research about opportunities out there. I was digging into emails and Googling, staying up and just Google different kinds of topics about different things, like opportunities out there. And, the funny thing about Google is when you're searching for something, sometimes many people just go through the first 2 pages or the first 3 pages of what Google, show you, but you have to keep digging. You have to keep digging till like to the end of that information. And the reason is because there are some useful information perhaps that was out there published maybe 5 years before you're searching for the same information. Informations like that are buried in the new ones that are coming up. You do get what I'm trying to say? So like, for instance, if you're searching for maybe scholarship on marine biology, maybe there was a specific scholarship on that particular topic that was published 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And people that are in charge of that, they are probably not doing the big announcement or advertisement that they usually do when they first started that program. And because they feel like, okay, many people already know about the program. So they're not putting that information, the way they did when they started the program, right? So, but the point is this, and you as a person, you are interested in that same program, right? By the time you Google that, okay, master's degree scholarship in marine biology, and the first few pages that the Google is gonna list out, these are information that are current. These are the things that were put out there within maybe months or 1 or 2 years. But you as a person, if the page keeps going, if your Google keeps saying that, okay, you have 10 pages more to look into, just keep clicking on that. Keep checking out, keep going until you get tired or until you reach the end of the page. So for me, it was more like that as well. I would spend nights and days just browsing and looking for information about different topics, and I will reach out to different organizations and schools and professors about certain things and about certain topics. And as time goes on, um, I found what I really liked at that time. So immediately when I finished from FUTA, I was able to come here to the US for 6 months to do some program here. And after that 6 months, I came back home for my NYSC. And like I said earlier, I knew that I didn't want to stay back home unless I find something that I really like. But I was fortunate during my service period. When I was serving, I served in Nasarawa State for my NYSC. During that time, I was very active. And of course, my focus was basically on climate change, environmental. I was putting some things together on climate change in Nasarawa State. So from Nasarawa, I would travel all the way down to Abuja to see the director of climate change unit at the ministry to talk to him. There was a time I had a meeting with him, and it was surprised that people knows about some things about Red Plus, because I brought a proposal to him about Red Plus, and he was surprised that you really know about Red Plus, and I was like, ha 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 ha, you have no idea. And that was when Red Plus was just coming up, becoming a thing, and all these market-based solutions around climate change. These were when all these things were just coming up and things like that. So it was a surprise. Now, I brought that up because at that time, this director was getting ready to retire as well. Then there was this company in New York, excuse me. There was this company in New York called Global Oxygen Development Corporation. I mean, they don't exist anymore. They have their headquarters in New York and they have another office in France. So they were trying to set up their Africa office in Nigeria. And the person that was in charge of that was gonna put the whole thing together, hired this director at the ministry to head the whole organization. And that was when he told me about that. Hey, I'm retiring very soon and I'm joining this company. I would like you to come and be part of us. I was like, really? I'll take that, And I was like, because I knew if I was gonna stay, those are the kind of things that would make me, where I know that, okay, I can make significant progress and impact, and I can feel fulfilled about what I do. So what happened was immediately when I finished my NYSC, I had a couple of things going on. Did I wake the kids up or who's kidding?
All right. You can carry on, sir.
Okay. So so I had a couple of things going on at that time, and I was in New York. We had a conference at the UN headquarters at that time, and I was waiting for this director to send me an official employment letter before I can come back home, because that time I was already asking myself, okay, what is the next thing for me to do? So I called him all the way from New York that, hey, sir, this is Tolu. And I know we talked 2 weeks ago before I left Nigeria, but I am presently here in this place, and I just need to know for sure if I have this position. And I need to have that in writing. I demanded that, sir, if you really want me, and if I'm gonna change the direction of my life at this time, I need something concrete. So it was like, okay, give me a second. Let me talk to the owner, the CEO of that company. He called her, they prepared my letter, and they sent it to me the following morning. So I came back home. After the conference, I came back to Nigeria, moved to Abuja right away, and I started with this company. However, though, I was working for this company for about after the third month, when I realized that, okay, I cannot stay here. And there were some things that unfolded that just make me feel like, okay, yeah, this is not a place for me. Now, there's one thing that you guys also need to always bear in mind. And that is are you able to mute that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, and that is your principle. Your principle, and don't ever compromise who you are as a person or what you're worth. Now, you can always write things out to give you enough time to plan for the next move. Now, what happened was that I was the main technical person that was putting proposals together for this company. And our proposals was going to each state, I was literally doing all the work myself. So what happened was, okay, we had the governor. We signed an MOU with the governor of Taraba State. We signed an MOU with Ekiti State governor. That was the first time when what was his name again? The current governor, what is his name? Please remind me.
Fayemi.
Fayemi. The first his first term when Fayemi was the governor, we went to his office to present the proposal. We had a presentation. I was doing all of that, and that was the first time I met Fayemi. I was the one that gave the presentation as well. Now we had three states that were already looking into the company's proposals to do Red Plus in each of those states, to use some of these market-based mechanism for their forest management. And what I realized is that, since you guys are putting this on YouTube, I don't care. I know this company might have access to this, but I'm ready to let this out. What I realized is that the salary that was the salary that was coming from New York, my salary that was coming from New York was around 500,000 naira at that time. I'm talking about 2010. Yeah, 2010 or so. Was 500,000, was 500, half a million naira a month. That was what I was supposed to be getting. But upon arriving in Nigeria, what I was getting was 95,000 naira. Now, I was happy with my job. The pay, I know, Abuja is very expensive, but I wasn't so keen about the pay. I was just focused on the job itself because I love what I was doing. And when I saw what was going on, we had different people working at our office that they would just come and just sit down like the chairman doing nothing. The owner of that company is two kids. One of them is working in a bank, in a bank. This guy is on the payroll getting paid the exact amount of money that I'm supposed to be getting paid.
Wow.
Our second son, who comes to the office and just sat there and just do nothing, this guy is making 500,000 naira every month. His friend, I don't know, all of them that are doing nothing, they are all making 500,000 naira. So I'm the one that is doing the work. I'm the one that got hammered, and I was making that. Now, for me, it's a principle thing. When I saw that, when something is not right, I don't know how to keep quiet. And that is who I am. I think I get that from my mom. Now, I walked up to the director, the one that told me about this job, that gave me the job, actually, that employed me directly. That, hey, sir, I noticed this. I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I feel like the kind of relationship we have, that I should be able to express my displeasure about things like this. And he got upset. It was like, oh, really? That's okay. So you really think all the people that are working out, that are looking for job, everybody looking for job, you think if you put your position out there, you don't think that somebody else will get the job right away? So immediately he stood up and he got up and went to the to the CEO and tell her about this. And they called me to our office. I was like, yep, I'm not scared. I walked in there. She said the same thing, that we're gonna put your position out there. You'll see how many people would apply. And for me personally, that baffles me a lot. That for me, it's more about the principle. You can't have my name out there that I am when you send the salary scale of all the of all the staff that are working for the company. The headquarters of this company in New York, they already have a scale of how much everybody should be making based on each position. And they can't be sending this certain amount of money in my name. And upon getting to Nigeria, I'm making way less than that. That is not the kind of person I am. I won't stay there. So immediately that same day, I started making moves that, okay, well, it is what it is. Time up, I'm out of here. Then it only took me like 1 or 2 months to kind of put everything back together. And that was when I left Nigeria, finally, to do my master's degree.
Wow.
So from Nigeria, I moved to Germany. I did my first year of my master's program in Germany. Then my second year, I did at the University of Washington here in Seattle. So that was my journey.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tolu, for giving us an idea of some of those things you've gone through, and you know, one of the reasons why we are hosting great people, successful people like you, is to learn from both their mistakes, some of the things they've passed through on the good and on the bad side too. So it's I can say it's good that we are learning this from you. Thank you so much, sir. And on to the next question very quickly because of our time. And the question I would like to ask you is this. Do you think studying forestry in Nigeria is a great factor to your success now? That you studied forestry in Nigeria, do you think that has really contributed to your success now?
You know, I think our journey right from when we were born all the way to where we are play critical roles in who we are as a person, and plays critical role in our success as well. And I would say that what I'm doing today, what I am today, I can credit that for my upbringing. I can credit most of it to my mother and to my family, and at the same time to friends and good people, my dedication to church and work of God and the disciplines I learn and garnered as a young man play a critical role in shaping me and in shaping me to who I am today. And also, of course, my journey through FUTA also play a very important role in that as well. And of course, me studying forestry opened my eye to a lot of things, even though at first it wasn't the case. When I started forestry, I didn't know anything about forestry.
Yeah.
And I know, you guys probably, some of you guys share the same story where you applied to study electrical engineering or civil or whatever, and you were given forestry. And meanwhile, I mean, this has to change. It's really wrong, fundamentally wrong, because I can imagine because the people in some of the university are in position to make such decision doesn't mean they should be doing that. We all have our passions, even as young and coming fresh from high school, getting ready to get into the university. We all have a passion, we have aspirations, we have our dreams, we have set goals, what we want to be in life. It is very wrong that somebody that say, okay, I want to study Yoruba literature, for instance. You feel like, okay, well, I do not have that grade to study Yoruba literature, or I do not have everything to study Yoruba literature. Maybe you might do better if you study industrial mathematics. It doesn't work that way. That practice needs to end in our universities. If somebody doesn't meet some requirements, don't give the person an admission, or reach out to the person and give the person options that, hey, your grade does not meet these criteria. Now, these are the options you have. It is now left to that person to say, okay, yes, I will go with this one. Or no, I'm going to pull out and reapply or go to another school. But for an institution to just say, okay, somebody I say, okay, I want to study civil engineering because, because you don't meet the requirement, take forestry or take something else. It's not right. And that practice needs to stop now. But that was my story. I came to FUTA to study something else, but I ended up as to study forestry. The first 4 years, I wasn't really keen. I wasn't like motivated or like so much into the forestry. It was until when I, first year of my fourth year, first semester of my fourth year, 400 level. That was when I started getting a broader understanding of, okay, it's not just about the forestry, it's more that a lot of components around forestry that I can also explore. And that was when climate change was everywhere, and I was getting much more interested in climate change more than the scientific way of managing forestry itself. So, but yeah, I can say that, some part of it, I can be attributed to my time in FUTA. And we have a lot of great professors in FUTA. And at the same time, we have some folks that, can do much better with the way they communicate to students. And even if the student is not doing well in school, or he has some, setbacks, there are ways that you can always pull folks like that up instead of, bringing them down and looking them like NFA or something like that. But I really want to mention Professor Akindele specifically. And the reason is because during when I started, I think it was on sabbatical leave at that time, and it was in Canada, the UBC in Canada. I didn't really get to meet him until I think until my fourth year, 400 level. That was when I met him. So that was when he came back from Canada at that time. So I met him and I did some of his GIS, remote sensing courses. And he was the one that actually opened my head into some of these things. And I fell in love. That was when I fell in love with with forestry.
The feeling is the same.
Yeah,
the feeling is the same. The feeling is the same.
Yeah, that was when I fell in love with the program. And so we have some great professors in that university that really didn't know how to communicate to students, and they know how to meet you at the point of your need. They know that, okay, if you're this way, this is how best to approach somebody like this person. And we all have our different style and ways of learning as well. I can say that FUTA can also take some of those credits.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the story. And then to the next question now. What advice would you give to a younger you who is studying forestry? Sorry, please, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. What advice would you give a younger you? Because some of the reasons why we have put together this kind of event is because we have noticed a kind of decline in interest of young people studying forestry in Nigeria and in some other countries in Africa, and our audience is kind of heterogeneous. We have people from all over the institutions in Nigeria and some other folks outside Nigeria joining this event. So what advice would you give a young person who is currently studying forestry or a fresh graduate of forestry? What advice would you give that kind of person?
Don't be limited. Don't be limited to the word forestry. Uh, don't limit yourself. Don't box yourself in a corner. There are different areas of forestry that you can always explore. There are different sectors. Right now, what I'm doing is the work of a civil engineer. I'm an environmental our company is an environmental construction company, and I didn't have engineering background. I didn't go to school to do any engineering course, and at the same time, I didn't work in the engineering firm. But what I did was, it's a lot of work. I did a lot of self-studying and a lot of Googling different information about certain things. And I did a lot of YouTube videos watching, like how are they doing this? How do they use bioengineering to stabilize slope, for instance? What role does certain uh, plant species play in stabilizing steep slopes? So that is the advice I'm gonna give. And the reason is because forestry, the word itself is very limited. It's limited into just to some perceptions about that. Okay, it's all about taking care of a standing forest, but there's more to it. And we don't get the we don't get we don't get enough information in school, in the university, about some of the areas that you can explore and take advantage of uh, to maximize what you're learning, or to maximize your potential as well as a person. That, okay, I'm done now. What can I do? How can I use this certificate to get a job and things like that? I mean, how many forests do we have now in Nigeria? Our forest is declining, you know, and we don't have good government in Nigeria, even Africa generally. And some of the progress that we make for over 2, 3 decades on climate change, those progress was pretty much eroded when the US pulled out of the Paris Agreement, because the Paris Agreement would have helped some of the developing countries in maintaining their forests and bringing in new programs to help use market-based mechanism to help maintain our forest. And because of that, what do we see? We're seeing decline in the profession itself. So the point I'm trying to make is this: don't limit yourself to what the program is all about. When you finish from the university, ask yourself, do I still want to go this direction? Do I still want to be a forestry person?
Yeah.
You can't limit yourself to that. Now, when you ask yourself that question, now tailor that question into your passion. What are you passionate about? And uh, and here is the thing: I've never seen anyone that studied forestry that eventually did not grow that interest in forestry. And that's one good thing about it. Everyone, even myself, I'm of course, I'm I'm a number one witness of myself, right? I didn't like the program until my fourth year in the university. Uh, but I personally, I have never seen anyone. I mean, there are people out there, but I've never seen anyone that studied forestry. They like it or they didn't like it. They apply for it, or they were given, and by the time they finish, they didn't grow to like the program. I've never seen that person. And use that interest and passion and love uh, to kind of like create your own path, like redefining what that means for you in your own language. And that is what I did. So again, I'm going to put this in a nutshell again, that don't limit yourself to whatever you're doing. Forestry, redefine what forestry means for you. If you're studying Yoruba literature, redefine the Yoruba literature in your own language to give it your own meaning. And that is where you derive the passion. And when you go to work every day, and what you're going to work for is something you love doing. You're not going to work, you are going to have fun. That is that is how it will eventually become.
Yeah.
That is when you love what you do. So that is my secret. That is what I do. Yeah, I work hard, guys. This just doesn't come like that. No, I work really hard for what I have today. I've had tons and years of sleepless night that I have to stay up all night to, just stay in front of a computer or put some things together and just put things in motion and things like that. If I don't love what I'm doing, I can't put that level of passion or work into what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's true, sir. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to be asking the last question in twofold. They are together. Number one is for someone who is thinking of starting a forestry related company in Nigeria. For someone who's thinking of about starting a forestry related company in Nigeria, what advice will you give such person? And add this to it that from your own personal experience in the US, okay, if you look at Nigeria at large, what are the opportunities, business opportunities you've seen in Nigeria that someone can start a forestry related business around?
That one a jam question. That's a jam question, man. Well, okay. I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. There is no specific or best advice that can be given to answer this question, because what we do, our profession, became something personal to us eventually. And that is how we are successful at what we do, when we personalize it. Look at it from the angle of children-parent relationship, right? Before you have kids, you're just by yourself, right? You're a single person. But once you have a child, you will realize that you don't love yourself as much as you love your child. You realize that all the love that you ever have, is given to that child. Like you love that child unconditionally. That is the level of personalization I'm talking about. Anyone that want to start anything, I know it's a little different back home, in Nigeria, to start anything in Nigeria,
Yeah, that's true.
It's a tough sell, but it's doable as well. It's doable. I was reading about these two guys that started the financial tech company.
Paystack.
Yeah, they just
Paystack, yeah.
acquired. Those guys are millionaires or billionaires in Nigeria now, in Naira, right?
In Naira, yeah.
Now, the point I'm trying to make is this. It's not easy, but once you have passion about certain things, you see certain needs of your community, and you look at, okay, what can I do if I want to set up something like this to be able to address this particular problem? How will I do it? Now, as you're thinking about that, you also want to make sure to be thinking about the money aspect of it. Okay, if I want to do it, how will I get paid for doing it? We know we don't have responsible government. We don't have responsible government in Nigeria. Let's face it. I just say, I like to say things exactly the way I see them. We don't have responsible government in Nigeria that cares so much about when there's a certain challenges we're facing, and they ask people for solution and they pay people for providing the solution. I mean, for instance, look at COVID. For instance, look at the COVID. When COVID hit the country, we have some money allocated for palliatives to help people, to help them survive, for food. And you can imagine some people just store up all this food in a warehouse, when people are hungry. And that is how bad things have become with our government, with the people that are in charge of our systems. They are so corrupt in a way that is so unbearable now. And that's why we see all these protests going on right now. Now, leaving that, but to get back to the point, you want to make sure you find a certain need of a community around the areas that you're passionate about. Maybe you realize that, okay, there's a gully erosion, in some areas, and you see how that gully erosion is affecting certain things, maybe agricultural, or even that community, maybe their homes and their properties, how this gully erosion is affecting them. And you ask yourself, okay, how can I use bioengineering? Because you have the forestry background, there are different aspects. We went through different courses as a forestry student on, on different around on different topics around forestry. And you ask yourself, okay, what can I do to address this problem? And you kind of like get on the computer and just Google how to control gully erosion. And you look at all these different ways to do that. For instance, bioengineering. So like bioengineering is pretty much using willow sticks and some other natural systems to stabilize slopes and to address some environmental issues, instead of using big construction ways to address those problems. You're using natural way to address those problems. So that gully erosion, for instance, you ask yourself, okay, how can I do that? You Google, okay, you realize that, okay, you just need this, you need that. You put all this together. You can use plant-based to stabilize the slope or to control the erosion. Okay, maybe you see certain things as well, whereby all the erosions are coming from certain angle. You go all the way to the source. Okay, what do we need to do? Is it the debris that have been dumped into the river that is clogging our sewer system and causing this erosion, or is it just some very basic thing that can be done around the way the water travels that can to control this gully erosion? And you ask yourself those questions. Now, when you ask yourself those questions, you look at the community. You know for sure the government, they're not going to do anything about that. Your government, the local government won't do anything about it, but you still want to give it a shot though. You go to the government, be like, hey, this is happening here. Or maybe you go to the community first, but you set up your own, you already have a name for your company and this and that. You look good as an official and regular standard company, and you walk up to the community, okay, this is what we can do to fix this problem. This community, they go to their representative, maybe their what's called councilors or their chairman of their local government, and be like, okay, can you fund this project to make sure we address these and this and that? Or if you realize that, okay, this is a way, this is something that we're just gonna keep talking to these politicians, they won't do anything about this, then you just fall back to talking to the people that.
My apologies, I couldn't hear what you said.
sorry guys. Then you feel like, yeah, well, maybe I just need to fall back to the people themselves. Like, hey, do you want this or not? If you want this, you can pay us this certain amount of money. You give your proposal to them. Okay, you can give a certain amount of money, and we can fix this problem for you. Now, to bring it back to the real point again, the first thing first is to recognize a challenge, a problem that a community is facing, and you find a way to provide solutions for that. And at the same time, you look for opportunity while doing that. And that is how you start. And what you want to do, you want to make sure that whatever you start, you want to make sure that these are things that you're passionate about. These are things that everything you do, you are thinking about it every time. That you're sleeping, you're dreaming about it, you wake up, that is the first thing you have in your mind. So once you have that passion, then every other thing follows.
Wow, that's awesome, sir. Thank you very much for that. So we're gonna take just two questions. I'll be taking two comments. Okay, we have a comment from Prof. Babalola. I'm gonna be bringing him up soon, but the question first. Yeah, I don't know if there's any question in the chat, boss. Any question? Okay, somebody asked that we create a community around the Forestry Roundtable, that it is not just monthly meeting, like a platform. So we are looking forward to creating a Telegram channel. So we just onboard people there. It will just be there. If you have any question, you drop and we connect you with the right answers in specific places. Yes, sir.
Can you give me just a second, Rick?
Okay.
Yeah, it's still it's 6 a.m. right now here. Just I need to just put something down real quick. Just 1 second. I'll be right back, please.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, everybody. Apologies for that.
Okay. So we are going to be creating a Telegram channel for Forestry Roundtable. So in your emails, you receive a mail containing the link to the Telegram channel. So we have it there, of course. In that place, you can share information, share opportunities, scholarship opportunities, several things that will really help us grow our career. So for anyone, if you have question, please drop it on the chat box, and we're going to read it out. Question? If you have any question, we are waiting. Okay.
Mr. Tolu comes back. Can we quickly call on Alex or Jumoke to say one or two things?
Yeah. Alex and Jumoke, as of last month, they were with us here in Nigeria. Okay, but now Alex is in Spain and Jumoke is in Netherlands. So wow, we appreciate God for them. So let them just give us some gist quickly. Alex, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, yes. I want to say thank you for organizing this session of today, and most especially to our speaker. He has been doing wonderfully well to the topics and questions being put to him. Yes, I'm glad to be here in Spain at University of Lleida studying the International Erasmus program in Mediterranean Forestry. And thank you for all that you have been doing, not just for me, but all the forestry students and graduates in Nigeria. And I believe that this activity is going to go on. I will continue to do our best to move the country forward. Thank you very much, and God bless.
All right, Jumoke, briefly. Jumoke, can we have you?
I'm here.
All right.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Meshach. I am grateful and I'm happy to be here. I'm in Netherlands, Van Olarenstein University of Applied Sciences, and I am studying agricultural production chain management. I also graduated from Forestry Department in Futa. And thank you, Mr. Tolu. When I joined, we were talking about someone asked a question. Okay, Olalua asked you a question, and you responded by saying we should not limit ourselves. Because at first, I think the fear a lot of youths have is actually the limitation aspect of forestry. We tend to feel, oh, it's forestry, I am limited.
Wow.
I
True.
do a lot of reading and all of that, and I realized actually it's beyond just forestry, and though it is more of the trees, but it's beyond just being in the forest too.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
aspects to it, and I'm glad we are able to share these experiences with the young ones coming up, and even the fresh graduates who are still able trying to find their grounds. It's a beautiful thing to be here and sincerely
Wow.
them opportunities
Wow.
that we
Wow.
grab. Honestly,
Wow.
yes, and
Thank you
I'm
very much.
happy you're going to open the Telegram. People need
Yeah.
to. Some people are unable to find these opportunities themselves, but if we have information to share, it would go a long way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. Jumia and Alex will be of great help to us in securing scholarship abroad. Okay, let's have Professor Fola Babalola, Dr. Fola Babalola. I'm already professor, Professor soon, sir. Hello, sir. Dr. Fola, can we have you, sir?
Thank you so much, everybody. Please, can you
Yes,
hear me?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for giving me the platform and for allowing me to speak this afternoon. I'm very happy I'm listening to Tolu once again this afternoon. I don't think Tolu can remember the last time we met when you organized the NAM meeting at Futa.
Yeah.
And that was many years ago. And I came from UI and we were eating chicken and we went to see other farm and all those things. Since that time, I've been following you and we're on the same Facebook and that. You have spoken a lot this afternoon, and how I wish a lot of forestry students are listening to you, because I'm a lecturer in forestry. I lecture forestry, I do forestry, I teach forestry. And I never regret doing MSc and doing my BSc, MSc, and PhD forestry. And I've traveled far and wide. I've seen what is forestry and the potential. And one thing that I learned from what you mentioned this afternoon, and I've already even heard and read somewhere before, is that when you do what you love to do, someone else will pay for it.
Yeah.
When you love what you're doing, somebody else will pay for it. Many students come to forestry and I keep getting questions whenever they get on the level, 200 level is, what can I do with this forestry? And I kept telling them, forestry has a lot of potential if only you can search for it. One thing I discovered about most of our students is they are lazy in looking for information. A number of our students relax. They sit down there and they want you to spoon-feed them with information. Even at times, you will show students about information, about opportunity. They will still ask you to write their motivation letter for them, to prepare their CV for them. And I keep telling them, this thing doesn't come cheap. Opportunity don't just come cheap. You have to develop interest. You have to really put up this determination.
Yeah.
You have to give up a lot of focus. Getting all this. So even if you open, I have an alumni chat group for my students. Once they finish, we keep sending information there. How many of them make use of this thing? I'm very happy I heard you now that you really put in a lot of work, a lot of here on this platform today. It doesn't come cheap. This thing that Diamond is telling us today, it doesn't come cheap. You have to put in your best.
That's true, sir.
Put in your own interest, and you have to be focused. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for the platform.
Thank you very much, sir. So we take
somebody told me something that before you left for Nigeria, there was a time you sold your laptop to go for opportunity abroad. Is it true?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, that's true. All right. Thanks very much, sir. So Rotowa Odunayo, a lot of people wants to commend Mr. Tolu. Rotowa Odunayo, can you quickly come up? Rotowa Odunayo from Nasarawa State.
Yeah,
Rotowa
thank you.
Odunayo.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I would like to join Dr. Babalola to submit my appreciation to the brain behind us meeting, this monthly meeting. And I must commend your further efforts in bringing up the concept of bringing us again in a telegram. That was a beautiful one. I want to say hi to Mr. Tolu Daramola. It's beautiful to see your face again, bro. And I will make my own submission very fast about this person. You know, I was then a student in Natural State University when he was around as a copper. And one thing I knew about him then was he's always in the cyber cafe, you know, here and there, always in the cafe. And that to me as an undergraduate student then was, you know, mobilizing. Like I felt, wow. So what about all these? You know, I think then I was in 200 level, and like many others, I was almost getting lost. That what am I doing here? But people like this, well, I'm not sure he knows. You know, people like this helped us to believe that there is a greater deal beyond where we were. By the grace of God today, in the same department I lecture where I graduated, you know.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and
Wow.
it has been
Wow.
a, you know, a beautiful one.
Wow.
It's been a
Thank you very
mobilization
much, sir. Wow.
and such
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
All right. Yeah. There's a question. Someone we're talking about niching down. Yeah. The person said is confused about how to niche down in forestry. So how can you advise him, sir? How to niche down?
Am I okay? I'm not. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, so like we've been talking about, there are different components, you know, in forestry, right? And it is left for you yourself to define. When you redefine forestry, what it means for you, that will help you to narrow down what your areas of interest are. And when you're able to identify those areas of interest, then that's where you build your passion. Even your passion grows naturally. So again, you just have to redefine what forestry means for you. And by redefining it, will help you to narrow the field into what is passion, what is the passion for you. And that will help you moving forward.
Wow. Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah. I think that should answer it. That should answer it.
Before you take the next question, I quickly want to, because I know a lot of people online now are interested in attending conferences. And I know you, Mr. Tolu, you've attended conferences at even at the level of the United Nations with some other ones. What advice could you give to individuals who are interested in attending international conferences?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get involved. Get involved in those conversations and get involved in those conversations out there. There are different platforms. There are different areas around climate change, forestry, environmental, sustainable development that are out there. And you just need to, once you find an area that you love, or if you want, you can just, take 5 areas, 10 of them, but you need to be part of something first. You're part of a conversation, you're part of a group, you're part of a, like IFSA, for instance, it's like, you guys are part of IFSA. Is that muted already?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So, like IFSA, for instance, that is a platform on its own. You guys are very involved in that, and there are a lot of opportunities around being an international forest student associations member. And it's the same thing also out there all around the world. There are different areas on sustainable development, the Great Green Wall, desertifications, different areas. You just need to, like Dr. Babalola was saying earlier, you just gotta put in the work, get on the computer. Thank God for the age that we have right now. It's easy to just sit down on the computer and just Google for any information that you want, and you will get it from Google. And just like once you research, once you Google those information, okay, group on this and information on this and this and that, you'll be able to identify some of the organization or non-profit organization that are doing different things, and you just need to be part of them. You make reasonable contribution to their discourse. You make sure your voice is heard. What I mean by that is you contribute in a meaningful way. You look at the topics they are talking about, the things that they are talking about, and you take your time. You don't just spew things out there. You take your time to give them informed information that they will look like, who is that person? And that's the way you can distinguish yourself. I always say this to everybody, to everyone that I come across, that there's always a space for that one person at the top. You know the way the pyramid is, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like, okay, only one person can be standing on top of it. And sometimes that is how opportunity looks like as well. But the truth of the matter is this: if you are undisputable person, you have the quality, you have something they want, they will create a space for you right on top of that pyramid. There's always a space. There's always a space.
A space on top of the pyramid.
Yeah, for that one person. And you just need to make sure you do your own thing differently. So like, for instance, you have these, okay, you're able to, you're part of this organization, for instance, okay, you become a member of the organization. There are a lot of voices in that organization. And you're asking yourself, how can I plow through all the noise of this organization? Not noise per se, but I'm just using that narrative. How can I plow through all the noise of this organization and make my voice to be heard?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you just need to take your time and make sure what you're saying things in a different way. You look at things in a different perspective and you put it out there. It's a natural thing. Easily, people will look at you like, who is that? And before you know it, they'll be calling on you that, hey, can you come and do this? Can you do that?
Yeah, true.
I was in, let me share this with you. I was in, I think right after when I finished, when I graduated, I was called on by one organization in the UK to put some things together in Nigeria. I didn't ask them for that thing, but they saw what I was doing, and I was making meaningful contribution to some of the discourse we're having. And they were like, hey, we want to do something like this and this and that. Can you handle it? I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll do it. Even though I haven't done something like that before, you know, like this, the CEO of, what was this guy called? The CEO of this airline, big airline, Virgin Airline. He said something. I was reading his page someday. He said, if you have this skill to get a job, say yes, you have it, and go and learn about the skill later. Now, that might not be a good advice, but in some respect, it might be. You know, it all depends on what kind of skill we are talking about.
So far, it's learnable, sir.
So far, it's learnable. You know, so that's that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, wherever you find yourself, number one thing is you want to make sure you do every single thing in a unique way. That will put you in a position that will put the spotlight on you, where people will see, and just make an habit. Even when you talk to people, even when you relate with people at work, and now even at your job, whatever you guys are doing, always do things in a way that, even if you don't like what you're doing right now, always make sure everything you're doing in a way that people are watching you. And that doesn't mean you stand in front of your boss and be doing so that your boss can see you. No, it is only insecure people that does that. Insecure people are the people that, you know, like, hey, my boss gotta see what I'm doing.
High service.
I'm the hardest work. No, you don't want that. You just want to stay in your corner, do your work, and do it the best way, in a unique way, and be hardworking. I promise you, somebody is taking note of what you're doing. Somebody is seeing that, and eventually it will pay off.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. All right. The last thing here is not really a question, but we'll ask for your permission for this person to reach you personally. All right. Is one of the team member of the Forestry Roundtable. Is currently the communication officer of Red Plus project in Kaduna State Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. So he's going to need your advice on things around that. So we're going to ask for your permission so that he can reach out to you personally on that and get all the information he may need around that. So thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you. Number one organization I'm going to be thanking is IFSA. IFSA has been of great support to us. IFSA has been of great support to us, and we really appreciate IFSA. They've been supporting us right from the start of the Forestry Roundtable. Even though after changing the tenor, they still continue with us, and we hope that this partnership will bear something better and allow the vision of IFSA herself to come true. So, and my team member, our team member, Olaoluwa Adetula, Jumoke, Ayole Samuel, and Adigo Azan himself. So we really appreciate everyone for all that you do. So for the closing remark, I'm going to call Jumoke, the Netherlands woman, to give us the closing remark as we close this session. Jumoke, please, it's up to you.
Yes, I'm here. Mr. Tolu, thank you so much for heeding to our call. We really appreciate you, and we wish you all the best in your career as well. And we hope to meet you at the top of a pyramid too.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, everybody, for joining today. We hope to see you next month. Thank you.
Everyone. Shomuri Tala, you said you have a question. Shomuri Tala. Please,
yes, Mr.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear you. Let's hear you briefly. Yeah.
All right. So maybe fast forward to Mr. Tulu or Dr. Babalola. I don't know who can handle the question, but I know they are competent. They are both competent ends. So my question is, I have an interest towards forest policy and administration. So building a career towards that aspect, I don't know which business idea can I come up with in forest policy administration, law, and all that.
Okay. Mr. Tulu, can you just answer that?
Yeah, well, it's all depend because that is a very narrow, aspect of the profession. Now, there are some numbers of organizations that one can work for if that is your area of interest or specialization. You're talking about government or some of these international development organizations and some of the international development banks that does a lot of work around environmental forestry, forest management, like African Development Bank, for instance. Repeat the question again. I wasn't following.
All right, repeat the question, please.
Okay, Mr. Cholo, thanks. I said I have an interest in forest policy and administration, forest policy law and administration. So building a career towards that aspect, then bringing in the business aspect of that area in forestry. Is there any advice? That's my question, sir. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I see. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have something that good to share with you about that. But what I would say is this. Again, it falls back on what we've been talking about earlier. Whatever you want to do, you just need to know the in and outs of that area. Not just the policy aspect of it. Yeah, like you said, the business aspect of it. Okay. If I want to go into business, if I want to have my consulting firm, for instance, how do I do it? What qualification do I need to have in order for me to be able to do it? And where do I need to go to be able to get jobs within this area? I know for sure that FAO, for instance, FAO, there's this other policy-based forestry organization in Kenya also, but they get their funding from everywhere. Like they are very rich as well. The UN, I know that they usually put a lot of proposal requests out there for people who develop forest policies, to send their proposals and their qualification and develop certain proposal on certain topics for them. And these are the only areas I can think about that, the business wise that you can explore as well. But first and foremost is your qualifications. In order for you to be able to do that, yeah, you need that strong, scientific based background. I'm talking about you finish your first degree, you know that next one you're going for your master's degree. The next thing you gotta have your PhD, man. If you don't have your PhD, they won't look at you two eyes. If you want to be in that arena. So so solidify that knowledge base first as you're going forward. You are also like working and making sure you're known here and there. You're publishing papers. People see your work out there. By the time you're ready to get into the full-fledged business of it, people already know you. And when you apply for some of the jobs they put out there for proposal development on different topics, they already know you and they'll be like, we know this guy, we can consider.
That's true. All right. Dr. Fola wants to answer that question also. Dr. Fola, quickly, sir.
Okay, thank you so much once again. Tolu rightly mentioned some of those points already. Somebody who is having interest in forest policy, law, and administration, that is what I'm currently doing. I'm into forest policy. I do forest law. I do forest administration. Now, as Tolu rightly said, first degree is maybe by chance. You found yourself in forestry by chance. A lot of us, even myself. Now, by the time you want to get specialized, you are moving forward to your master's level. And getting to master level at that point is not a mistake again. It's not something that somebody will push you to. The next thing for you to do is to look for a program that offers forest policy or forest economics or forest management. With that, you can start tailoring down to forest policy, but bringing in the issue, the aspect of business. The aspect of business is telling you that you want to specialize, you want to maybe practice, or you want to stay on your own. That will take you to start auditing some private or short courses, some short training to be able to develop some certificates in that aspect of the program or career you're interested in. So you need to start building extra curriculum activities outside the normal degree. So build some certificate, then get network, get link up with people, because policy is not about you just selling paper or selling something beside the roadside. No, it's about knowing government, it's about pushing negotiation, is about building partnership and all that. And it takes a lot of work to be able to excel in this area. So it's something you can do. I don't believe something you can do.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, like both of them rightly said about broadening your knowledge is it's very vital. For example, I almost embarrassed my alma mater at an interview recently because my own niche is using computer-based decision to solve natural resource problems. So I was applying as a data scientist with the Kaduna State government. And when I got there, I thought all the questions they were asking was about data science, Python, and all those stuff. So I was prepared and eager. And at this interview, it was a data science interview, and they were asking questions in forestry, like deep question. They were asking me what's the contribution of forestry to GDP. They were asking me like all these things, and I was looking like a dumb guy at the place. I was very good at what I was pursuing, but I didn't broaden my knowledge of forestry beyond the scope of class. So, and it's very important that you do that. As much as you are niching down, as much as you're focusing on something, broaden your knowledge so that as you narrow down, you don't just narrow and get everything off. All right, lastly, the Telegram group again. We're going to open that. You're going to get a link via your email address, and we'll be able to give you information, and we'll connect and network. Networking is very key. Like they said, that's one of the things I picked here in today's meeting, in this roundtable session, is that one, know what you want exactly. Know what you want exactly. Build yourself around it. Don't just fall for anything. Have a pursuit. Always know, like Mr. Tolu said, he said, I know I'm more than this. I know there's something better for me. So you don't just fall for anything. And also be knowledgeable. Be ready to do the work. Be ready to do the sleepless night. It's not easy, actually. It's not easy, but we surely get there. Absolutely. So thank you very much. So our next event will be coming up next month. Please let's prepare for that. We're going to be having another guest, someone very awesome. So keep guessing. If you can guess right, that'll be fine. Maybe we'll give you some $100 to chill out. I think Mr. Tolu will be ready to give us that. All right.
I'll take it if you want to give me some.
All right, thank you very much, sir. God bless you. So it's nice having you. So we can relate with each other. You can on your video. You can greet Mr. Tolu generally. We are done officially. We are done officially.
Hello.
Okay.
All right.
Alex, thank you for the
Tolu.
Yeah.
Before you run away,
Boy, be pardon.
yes, Mr. Tolu, please share with us your IFSA exploit. I read in quite a number of annual reports of you and some other guys on Twitter how you start IFSA. So can you share in like 2 minutes what you did, which position you were, which places you traveled to, what books or reports you wrote? So,
Who's asking the question? I don't know who that is.
okay. Alex is
Hello?
my
Yeah.
name.
Oh, is that you, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
Alex.
okay. Yeah, I remember. Well, oh gosh. Okay, so I actually started as IFSA vice president. FWT vice president. In those days.
Wow.
Then while doing that, I got involved with IFSA, and I became the Northern African regional representative. Then before I finished, before I graduated from the university, that was the first time I ever traveled. I went to Bulgaria for the IFSA World, IFSS. And that was 2008 or so. And that was first time. And there are so many things. I've done a couple of things with IFSA, and I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people, like great minds, nice people, and crazy people as well. IFSA has one of the most crazy people in the world. But one of the they also have a lot of good people, great guys, and they are. Everyone just seems to have this seriousness about the organization. Like they take it very seriously, and which is really awesome. So, and I've traveled. Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling. Honestly, guys, I have been to at least 24 countries all around the world, and right now I have a phobia for travel, for flying now. Like I don't like traveling anymore unless I don't like traveling by air anymore unless it is very, very important. I developed the phobia for it. So yeah, I've been to at least 24 countries that I can remember right now all around the world. And I've written different papers and published some. And, I thought I was going to be, maybe a policy guy, like the last question. I thought I was going to be like, doing policy work at the UN or with the FAO, but I got really bored of it, guys. Like I got really, really bored of it because I'm not the kind of person that can do one thing for a very long time. I have to be multitask. I have to be challenged. Anything I'm doing has to be something that keeps pushing me into my limit. And I don't know how to stay in one place doing the same thing for a long time. It's not in my DNA. It's probably many people, we are all different in our own different way. But the thing about me is just that that hungry for more. Like I can never be satisfied with what I'm doing. Once I reach my goal, the next question is, what else can I do? So, and that has been the key propeller to my motivation and every other things that I do. So yeah, so I want to thank you guys once again because I think I'm gonna have to go back to sleep as well.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Olaoluwa was very brutal with me. Instead of this instead of this meeting for 5 a.m. my time. And I go back from work around 9 p.m. Take care of a couple of things. I have 3 kids that I have to take care of, make sure everybody is good and read to them at night before they go to sleep, put them to sleep. Finally, I have time for myself to take care of myself and before I go to sleep. I'm talking about going to sleep around 12 or 12:30 a.m. and waking up again. I had to set the alarm for 4 a.m. So I've been up since 4 a.m. so I can have, I can feel much better. So he was very brutal to me, but I loved it. I told him that I'm excited about this, that I really want to do it. And I share when me and Ola was talking a day or 2 days before, I was telling him that prior, when I was much younger, I'm not that old, but when I was much younger, that I had very strong connection and contact with folks back home in Futa. And but as we grow older, most of those folks, they've also moved on with their lives as well. So there was that gap between myself and some of you guys now. But I'm happy that you guys invited me, and I'm appreciative of that, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you guys for the invite.
Thank you, sir. And, God bless you, sir.
I think I'm ready to go to sleep unless
absolutely,
somebody else have a question. Unless someone else have a question, and I can take the question. If somebody else has a question.
There's no question now, sir. There's no question. Okay. Sir. There's no question. All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody, you can greet each other, network with each other. All right.
Alex, you well done, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for leaving us.
Alex, how are you?
I'm fine. I like this. Jumoke.
Now pride don't they enter. Now she don't go Netherlands like this. She don't leave you for Nigeria.
This the way I put Jerry.
You.
Wait. You did church? I got this banner behind you.
Now church I do. Pastor
Meshach, well done.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I love this meeting today. I love it. And congrats.